Mother's Pride, it's new, it's British, I've seen it. Let's talk. Hey you, welcome back to the video, a brand new movie review. Today I'm talking all about Mother's Pride. It's brand new in UK cinemas. I've seen it. Before we start talking about it, as always, a friendly reminder, these are just my thoughts. Don't let this dictate whether or not you go and see it. You might see it, feel totally differently to me. That's okay, movies aren't made to cater for everyone. Without any further ado, let's start talking about this movie review. Yes, I'm quite dapper today. I'm going to London, literally my train is in 50 minutes. No, it's not even. It's in 37 minutes. But hence, priorities. We're here talking about Mother's Pride. I'm not going to lie. I booked tickets for this because I love to see everything that comes out in the cinema. And I think the only reason that I booked tickets for this film was because it was a British film. And it's very rare that we get truly British films in cinemas. We do get a lot more of them in like picture houses and things like that, but the big Odeons, the big Cineworlds, the Views, those kind of places, we don't tend to get as many British releases because they're smaller scale films, whereas the big like Warner Brothers, Universal, Disney, all of those are the ones that go to the big international like chains. So I booked tickets to go and see this because I do enjoy a British film, and I'm not gonna lie, I think the film is better than the trailer paints it out to be. So I do give that to the film. I think it's better than it's pictured to be. And I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I'm not going to lie though, there are moments of this film that it does feel like almost GCSE drama acting. I'm not going to lie. I think there's a lot of great people in this film. There's a lot of iconic actors in this film. Do I think they're the greatest actors? No, I don't. But they do all right for this film because I think they fit this kind of niche of a film. Do I think they're extraordinary? Personally, I wouldn't say so. But then again, it depends who this film is for. And I would argue this film is for somebody of an older audience. It's definitely aimed towards more elderly, more mature. It's not really a younger person's film. It's got humour that, you know, I laughed at quite a few points throughout this film, but the majority of the humour is more of an older person's type of humour, which is understandable because it is set in a pub. It's, you know, follows this really nice village-esque pub and a community getting behind each other. That's not really something that would appeal to most 25-year-olds. I'm not saying that to be stereotypical, because there are, of course, 25-year-olds that this is going to appeal to, as are there going to be like 85-year-olds that like Toy Story is going to appeal to. Do you know what I mean? It's not set in stone, but the majority is going to be, this is a more of an older audience type film. But I enjoyed it, and I'm not an let me try again. I'm not an older audience. So do you know what I mean? It has that swings and roundabouts. This film is good. At times, I don't think it knew what it wanted to be. Did it want to be this comedy, or did it want to be this a really emotional type film that really pulls at the heartstrings? It was one of those that I kind of didn't really grasp. The story at times was quite clunky, like it was really bitty, and it did take a while, I think, for the story to actually get going. I thought the pacing was a little bit all over the place, but once we kind of got into the actual nitty-gritty of this pub is failing, let's sort it out, it did start to kind of find its feet in terms of the pacing, and, you know, although it never really lost its clunky issues, it felt less clunky as the film went on, if that makes sense. It was just really ironic because I have like 4 jobs, not to flex, that's not a flex at all. But one of my jobs, and my main job, is working in a craft warehouse. And I use the word craft warehouse very loosely because we do much more than just crafts. But within that job, I'm one of the very few people in my workplace trained within malts and brewing sugar and stuff like that, which is what they use to make ale. And it's what they used in this film when they were like, we need to figure out a way to help this pub boom again. And they were using dextro, I don't know how to pronounce it, like dextro brewing sugar, and then they were using this type of pale ale malt, and they were using like this type of brown malt and all this. And I'm like, I package that. I work with that. I've got covered in it. I smelt of it after a 5-hour shift. Like, it was just really ironic. Not that that has anything to do with the movie. That is purely a me thing, but I thought I'd share it on my movie review. But this film is fun. I would class it as like a Sunday afternoon, easygoing, on in the background type film that doesn't take much to follow along to. If you pop out of the room for 10 minutes and you come back, you haven't necessarily missed much. There might be a few occasions where if you do that, you probably have missed a little bit. But then, you know, there are sort of things that I didn't really quite make sense. Like, one of the characters got a sentence. I'm not going to spoil it too much. That's kind of the only thing. But then we never saw that. And I'm like, well, what relevance does that have realistically to this film? It's a lovely runtime. I love a 90-minute runtime. I think that is the perfect time for a film. It's not too long. It's not too short. It's like just right. And I think British films do 90-minute runtimes the best because to me, it's perfect. And I did enjoy the runtime. I think a 90-minute runtime is just spot on. But this is fun. It is by no means a 10 out of 10 Hollywood blockbuster that's going to take the world by storm. It is nothing revolutionary. It's just a wholesome, fairly enjoyable watch that you're going to go, that was, do you know what, at the end, when the end credits come, you're going to go, do you know what, that was quite nice. Do you know what I mean? And I do think it appeals more to British audiences. That's my thoughts on Mother's Pride. It's in cinemas across the UK right now. As always, what's your 8 out of 10? Will it join my collection? I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I'm really trying to be more generous on my scores. So yeah, do you know what? 6 out of 10 from me. Will it join my collection? Probably not. I've seen it. It's one of those films now where I've seen it. I've enjoyed it. Like I say, it's one that if I did watch again, it would be like a put on in the background on streaming, something like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't need to rewatch it again. There was nothing that kind of hooked me to, you know, rush for a second rewatching. So no, chances are it probably won't join my DVD collection. So there you go. Like I say, Mother's Pride in cinemas across the UK right now. In the description below is the movie plot, a link to the movie trailer, as well as a link to my movie review playlist. It features every single movie review that I've ever done. More to come soon, and I will see you in another video. And fingers crossed, one of those movie reviews very soon.